Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, Kenedi is creating some really cute fuzzy 3D retro nails. So she's starting off with glazed orange, popping down a layer of this as our base coat. Once that's cured, she's just going back in with a second coat. We're going to leave this layer uncured because we're going to be going in with some acrylic powder to mattify it and give it that fuzzy texture. So you just want to grab some Val Crystal Clear and we're going to just pour this over the top of the nail, making sure it is absorbing it and it gets to the point where it doesn't look wet. You just want to keep going with this until you're happy because it does start getting absorbed and it will look wet again. So just keep going until it looks dry. And then we're going to cure that for 60 seconds. Next we're using Merlot and we're going to mix that up with some acetone in our airbrush. And we're just going to ombre this from the bottom. Now Kennedy's happy with that, she's just going back in with that acrylic powder and laying that over the ombre effect that we've just made. Just going to cure that for 60 seconds. Make sure you brush off all of that excess acrylic powder so it doesn't go messy and gunky in the next layers of things that you're doing. So we use now a nail tip gel adhesive and Kennedy's just put some gel residue remover on her gloves just so it doesn't stick too much. She's just rolled that into a sausage shape before making a bit of a donut shape really, and then dipping that silicone tool in some gel res to stop it sticking again. So you're just going to keep moving this until you're happy with the shape. Cure that, and then we're going back in with glazed orange and doing a layer of this all over that 3D section. Just make sure you're getting all of the little nooks and crannies because it's clear. You will see it if you don't cover it properly. So before you cure that, we're going back in with acrylic powder to give it that texture again. And then we're going to pop it in the lamp for 60 seconds. Brush that all off again and we're going to go back in with our airbrush and Merlot and just add in our shading to that 3D section. So we're going from the opposite side just to give it a lot of definition. And again, just using that acrylic powder to add some texture. Cure that for 60 seconds, brush it all off, and that's this nail done. And we're actually going to show you some other colours as well. It looks really cute. It kind of looks like a peach, don't you think? So for the next nail, we're going in with Birthday Suit for our base. So this is going to be a lighter, pinkier toned nail. And you can see the coverage of Birthday Suit is fantastic. You're going to cure that before going in with your second coat. And this is the coat that we're going to leave uncured to go back in with that acrylic powder. So again, just lay that acrylic powder over, make sure it's well covered. And for our colour that we're using in our airbrush, it's going to be Cover Story. And this is a lovely, muted, slightly darker pink. And we're just going in from that top corner. And just going back in with that acrylic powder again. Cue with that, and then we're using our nail tip gel adhesive to make our 3D shape. And this time we're going for a squiggle further down the nail. And don't forget that gel residue remover is your best friend when using this if you don't want it to stick to your tools or your gloves. And just keep shaping it until you're happy. Then we're just going to pop on a little dot to add on another 3D section. Once that's cured, we're going back in with Birthday Suit just to cover the 3D sections again. Once those are well covered, we're just going back in with our acrylic powder again before curing for 60 seconds. Dust that all off, and then we're going back in with Cover Story in our airbrush. And again, we're just going from the opposite direction to give those shapes extra definition. We're going to cover that with some acrylic powder, and then we're going to pop it in the lamp to cure again. And while that's curing, we're just going to show you that first nail so you can see just how different they look in the different tones. And there's that pinky nail. We're going to dust it all off. It looks so cute, so retro, so fuzzy. And finally, we're going to go in with Tranquil Seas to start off our third nail. And I'm going to leave you to just watch this one because it's exactly the same process as the first two nails. We're just doing different colours. And there we have the third nail. This one kind of looks like it should be under the water. It's very cool. And there are the 3 nails that we've made today. We'd love to see if you recreate any of our nail designs. You can tag us in them on social media. If you want any of the products, it'll be linked down below and tagged in the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.